Some days you're just thirstier than others, my man. All right, so today's video, do you need an ambidextrous rifle, and what does that actually mean? Because sometimes you have to really read deeply into the description of a company's rifle to understand what they mean by ambidextrous, because people have different definitions of what ambidextrous is. There are ambidextrous controls and there are fully ambidextrous rifles, and oftentimes people confuse those. Maybe some companies do that on purpose, maybe some people just don't understand, but some companies' versions of ambidextrous could be an ambidextrous mag release, where other companies' versions of ambidextrous could be fully ambidextrous controls. And I've got 3 different rifles here that we're going to talk about today, one of which the Cobalt Kinetics Pro right here. We're going to talk about one of probably a most coveted rifles out there, which is the Knight's Armament SR-15 Mod 2, and finish off with an ADM UIC setup right here. And we're going through these in that specific order because basically that's the order of how much ambidextrous control they have. So your basic rifle, your basic original kind of AR-15 is 0 ambidextrous controls, right? There's no ambi mag release, bolt lock, none of that stuff. But people have come into the era of wanting ambi controls. So starting off with the Cobalt Kinetics here. So this is the most basic of the 3 we're talking about today. There is nothing ambidextrous on the right side or the right-handed shooter side. However, on the off side, there is an ambidextrous mag release. Now, is this a big piece of improvement if you are a right-handed shooter? Not, but if you are a left-handed shooter, this gives you the same controls basically that the traditional or right-handed operator with the pistol, or the rifle, the pistol in this case, was designed for. You get that same control on the left for you, and we'll roll in me doing some offhanded magazine exchanges, which I haven't done in a while with this, so they look pretty bad. Training point there. You also get your standard bolt release on this one, but it's not ambidextrous on this side. Now, some companies would market this as an ambi rifle. My question to you is it really ambi if just one part of it, being the magazine release over here, is ambidextrous? I would say no. I would say list that as ambi mag release in there. But some companies, depending on their description, you might be confused with ambi mag release and a full ambi gun. Now, next up is going to be the Knight's Armament SR-15 Mod 2 right here, which is a great rifle. A lot of people want them, but it's one of the most expensive ARs you will ever buy. Now, this is the next level up in ambidextrous controls. And got an empty mag here we'll kind of play around with so you guys can understand. So what you get on this one is not fully ambidextrous, but almost full ambidextrous. So traditional mag release, you've got a bolt release on the right side, or the traditional side, if you want to call it that. And then you've got your magazine release over here for left-handed users. You can drop the mag out there, and your standard bolt lock bolt release on that left side of the rifle. Now, the cool thing is about this, since you've got that ambidextrous bolt release on the traditional side, you can manipulate the bolt, never have to come off fire control. Say you're doing a magazine exchange, right? Drop that mag, get the new one in there, you can drop the bolt right there. It is quick. You don't have to break that grip. You don't have to do anything weird. But as you can tell, we've got no bolt lock with that control here. Now, the upgrade here for my lefties is you have your, obviously, mag release here, your bolt lock bolt release there, so you never have to come off fire control at all either, and you can pretty much run your drills. Now, the last one we're going to talk about is the ADM UIC, which is the fully ambidextrous rifle setup here. So the cool thing about this one, you've got bolt lock and bolt release with the same button right there, standard mag release. The cool thing about this is when you're going to load up, you can lock back, load your mag, drop your bolt, and you are good to go. Never have to come off fire control. For my lefties here, same thing. You got nice, generous pads here for your magazine release and for your bolt lock bolt release. So it's much easier to operate these controls since they are a little bit bigger. They are guarded, but this is what you consider a fully ambidextrous rifle because it does have all of those controls. Now, do you need one? Is it for you? And what are the cost factors here? because the more ambidextrous you get, the more expensive the rifle is, to an extent. So the most expensive rifle of this group is the Knights, and a lot of that has to do with some of the proprietary designs, but a lot of that has to do with the name and the government contract. But traditionally, if you get an ambidextrous mag release, it adds just a little bit of money. Most rifles you can buy aftermarket mag releases that are Ambi for the offside, and they're like 30 to 75 bucks, something like that. When you start stepping up into some ambidextrous bolt releases, like here on the Knights, generally you're going to add a few hundred, if not more. And then when you step into something that is fully ambidextrous here, like the ADM, depending on the brand, you're usually spending the most amount of money within the same name brand quality. There are names out there like Knights that just are far more expensive for what they are because of the name Knights and what they do to it. But if you take a general rifle, say from the same company, if they offer stages of it, it would be Ambi mag release, it would be Ambi bolt release, and then it would be fully ambidextrous, and that would pretty much be the price point, generally the breakdown. You have different brands that give you different qualities and different levels of controls, but ultimately, do you need this stuff? It's nice to have, but let's just be honest. People have dropped a lot of people with standard rifles overseas that weren't ambidextrous. A lot of people have used a lot of ARs here in the country. None of them were ambidextrous. It's just a nice option to have. I think it's more so nice for people that are left-handed and have to deal with rifles that were built for right-handed people. But it is nice to keep the hand on fire control and manipulate the bolt, whether it's just release or whether it's full bolt control. And then if you do have to go off-handed, it's nice to have those controls on the off side of the rifle so you can manipulate that as well with a little bit more ease. So in all reality, people, it's all about how much money you want to spend. And talking about spending your hard-earned money, make sure you go to ironinfidel.com and check out our battle bottles. We've got the small ones, we've got the big ones. It's everything you need: cell phone pocket, molly, grab handle, another handle up here, bungee retainers in there. It's got everything you need if you want a hardcore water bottle. We've got your standard flip tops. We've also got those little sippy cup tops if you want one like that. Completely up to you and what your girl tells you to buy. Check it out at ironinfidel.com. We've also got the workout bands and other fitness gear to make sure that you are staying hydrated and staying healthy over at Iron Infidel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
I'm breaking necks and I'm wilding out. Reckless energy, I'm never signing out. Throw my elbows up and my money out. Cause I came to get down, so let's run it up.